We're in a low and slow exercise day. So this essentially is like indoor walking. And I'm gonna do about 15 minutes. I'm gonna come up, I wanna see how many of you are actually doing it with me, and then we'll take a little break and finish it out. So this is about a 20-minute workout overall. And give me some comments, some thumbs up when you're watching and or doing, and then afterward, how was this appropriate level? So remember this is not interval training. So this is not a get breathless type of thing. This is like, I can't get out or I can't get motivated to get outside right now. So I'm gonna do this first with some people, some community and some support. And remember this too, not every day should be interval training. Not every day should be high intensity training. We want to have a variety of, I do high intensity interval training, I do a low recovery day, I do high intensity strength training, I do a recovery day. And especially during COVID-19, if you're here and we're in the thick of it as we are right now, we want to boost our immune system. Doing too much high and hard and heavy, even if they're short duration, is not good. So listen to what your body's telling you. I'm sleeping really well, digesting really well, eliminating really well. I'm coping with stress really well. My appetite is healthy, but not too much and not too little. You know your exercise is in the sweet spot. And if it's not, think about adjusting your exercise, because exercise can be a catalyst for a better appetite, better sleep, dealing with stress a little bit better. COVID's not gonna go away, but you'll probably handle it a little bit better. See the silver linings. All right, here we go. All righty. Want you to start and tuning in, just watching where we're at. I'm gonna have you start. Our Truman mascot is right down here. He will probably photobomb us a little bit. So this is the reality of exercise at home. Let those pets come in and out. Don't worry about traffic coming in and out of the room you're exercising in. You know, I think about this a lot. And I think about, you know, I'd like to be a 60-year-old woman, you know, who runs down the street in just her jog bra. If, you know, I wanted to be that. And I realized this morning as I was thinking about, you know, I might go do 20 minutes before I talk with you. That didn't happen. But I thought about, you know, the only way to get to 60, being that woman who runs down the street, just feeling comfortable in her jog bra. And it has nothing to do with, I want to be a woman who runs down the street and is 60 or in her 60s that is, you know, looking like a 20-year-old, because that's not the goal. It's just about confidence. And the ability to do that actually happens today, right? So I would run down the street now at 56 without that shirt if that's what I wanted to do, right? And so I want you to start thinking like that. We have to think as if this is my goal, you better start treating yourself as if you're already there. So if you're doing punishing exercise and it's hard all the time, you probably need to change that. Did you know your brain resists anything that's associated with pain, including hard work, both of those words? Even if you say, I like hard work, your brain says, I don't even understand that you put those two things together in the same sentence, because we've been conditioned that hard and work and pain are things we should avoid. You know, if you're thinking, remember, put your hand on a hot stove, right? We learn not to do that. Some point we learned hard and work were not fun. We had to get through them to get something as a reward on the other side. Maybe it was money. Take your feet a little bit wider apart. But you really want to start framing your mind around, I like this exercise. This actually feels so good, right? So I want you to make sure, even if you feel like it's not perfect right now, I haven't lost weight, I want to be in better shape, you've got to start dressing the part. You've got to start feeding yourself the part, right? Because you're never going to lose the weight and then be able to go to the Mexican restaurant and eat all the chips and salsa and cheese and flour tortillas and margaritas you want. That's not what naturally slim people do. They have a little, they move on with it, but they don't be good and then binge, right? So you've got to really change your whole lifestyle around the fact that you like treating yourself well. And I want you to pick those knees up. All right, end of soapbox. Here we go. Elbows down. What you want to feel is that you're dragging yourself on the floor. I want you to imagine scraping your elbows and your shin, your forearms on the floor, because what that does is drops your shoulders away from your ears. So imagine reaching and crawling. Bring your feet in and then take them out. It's just in and out. Now I'm on a tile floor, so I've got some lines here, almost like a ladder, so I can step inside and then outside that square. But you don't need it. Use your imagination. You don't need a ladder to do ladder drills. You don't even need to put that tape down on the floor. You just vision it. Whether it's tiles, maybe it's the floorboards in a hardwood floor, or I've used out on my deck, the floorboards there, or limestone stairs, right? So you can do whatever works, or just your imagination. So I want you to go in twos. We're gonna go inside, outside, and we're gonna go a little taller, a little lower, a little taller, a little lower. Drop the elbows down. So remember again, crawl along the floor. Drop those shoulders. Good. Nice. Now I'm gonna have you change 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. Last time, and you're gonna go to the other side. Touch and go. So your other leg, now I don't know about you, but this is my non-dominant side leading. I'm leading with my left, and it may look like right to you, although Facebook kind of inverts this, so sometimes I'm not actually sure if you're seeing this move the same way, because it looks to me like when I look in the mirror, I'm not seeing my reflection, I'm actually seeing it move that way too. But here's where you're at. So it may look like you're doing your right leg now, but either way, if you're doing your non-dominant side, probably feels a little bit funky, like that's a half a second slow over there, it's not getting it. That's normal, and this is really good for rewiring your brain, all right? So it's just an easy march. Stand tall. You're gonna let those arms swing. We're gonna play with those arm swings in a second. Good. Walk it out. You're gonna hold it in. Good. All right, let's do a little tempo change. You're gonna go tapping on 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, touch. 1, 2, 3, touch. And touch. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now, if you were just walking down the street, I'm not doing anything with my arms on purpose, really. Just letting my arms go. And they will naturally go when your left foot is forward, your right arm is forward, and vice versa, right? So now, I just want you to push that a little bit more and start folding at the elbows. And I'm walking backward and forward. So it's back, back, in, and touch. And touch. And that engages my core more than if I'm standing still. Because I've got to reach back, reach forward. And all of that is leveraged from right here. Any golfers out there, you know all about leveraging through the middle. You're gonna leave your feet still, you're gonna swing, and it has to be here. That's that pivot point, really. So it's not about upper body strength, it's about your core strength and the coordination that you put all those movements together. Let's face it, if you're a golfer, you know it's about a lot more of a map. Good example, right? Here we go. And touch. And reach. Nice, strong. Go. We're going to keep this tempo. Same pattern. 1, 2, 3, but you're going to touch to the side. So touch. And you can stand as you march, a little more in place. You don't have to walk it back, but you can. Back and touch. Good. And all of this, as we start moving laterally, just a little more, we're going to be opening up through the hip. We're also going to be using the muscles in the side of our hip, glute medial muscle. As I stand on one and touch with the other, I'm using the glute med I stand on. And as I lift it up a little bit over here, not quite as much as if I do this, watch, I'm going to raise that leg off the floor. So it's a little bit more of a kick and reach. But I want you to watch the upper body. So if you didn't know what the leg was doing, my position up here should be the same. Whether I touch the coach is barking at us. All right, don't you hate a coach part? Hey, where's your bone? And reach over. Truman's 12 and a half. And there are days when Truman has to go to the bedroom. But today is not his day, all right? He's having a tough time during all of this COVID and 105-degree weather with a fur coat from winter on. Right? We're gonna reach. Hold it right here. Hold it right here. Good. Now, if you can't raise your leg up as high as I am, or if you can raise it higher, you do that. But if you can't without staying upright, then you find the sweet spot for you. Good. And right now, we've done this long enough that you may be feeling a little fatigue here. You're aware of these muscles because they're not ones we use nearly as much as we use those forward and back muscles. We locate or locomote. We're mobile front and back, but not so much to the side. We don't play like that anymore. So this is so good for you. If you are feeling a little bit of fatigue, kind of embrace that. You can put it down. Nobody should be cramping right now. I don't want to cramp your style or your leg, either one. Good. Now hold. We're going to do 4 more. Pay attention. So 3 more. Something's going to happen, right? And we're going to go kicks or lifts side to side. So it's here and here and here and here. A little bit more fatigue may build up, and that's okay. You only have 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Good, and just shake those legs out. Easy march. Good thing. I want you to raise your knees. Just stop. But while you do that, I'd love for you to put your hands, spread your fingers wide apart. Put them right here, kind of on the bottom of your ribs and on the top of your hips. So you're going to do a personal experiment, right? What I want you to be aware of is that you're not falling in. So you're not bringing them closer together. That whatever's happening through your leg is happening from your hip and not from your core, okay? So you're nice and tall. You're feeling like your lower back is supported because if you're not moving here, this is on. Nice job, okay? All on here. So believe it or not, this is core exercise. What you're doing is stabilizing. This is actually better than some of the core exercises you've been taught for decades to do lying on your back on the floor. Your core is designed to stabilize while your limbs are moving. So whether that's you're playing soccer with the kids, you're kicking the ball, you're doing that golf swing and stabilizing while your arms and your hips leverage that ball, this is stable. So doing this kind of movement as you exercise and being aware, this is actually core exercise, is a good, smart thing to do. All right, now let's bring those heels back. Because I don't know about you, but I was noticing my hip flexors were getting a little tight. Anyone else? And it makes sense. So we sit too much. Let's just say that, right? We sit so much during the day. Many of us for work, because we've got to be in front of a keyboard, right? And or we're maybe homeschooling right now. Maybe some of you are doing that. Many of you might still be working. So if you're a teacher, and you're now teaching online, or you're telecom relaying messages to your clients, you're doing it in front of a computer because you're not seeing them in person, we're all sitting a little bit more. Maybe you're lifting that computer up standing, which is great, but those hip flexors, if we sit, and then we sit some more at our leisure time, watching television, playing games, we've got a lot of hip flexion happening, but it's passive. So these muscles get tight, but tight is not the same as strong. So opening them up this way, what we're doing, hamstring curls dynamically, we're getting a very passive stretch here, but it all counts, sister. And we want to strengthen our hamstrings and our glutes. So the back, or the rear kinetic chain, super important. So there's a lot happening here, as simple as this movement is, and you're getting a little passive stretch here. What I do want you to be aware of is if there's any strain you're feeling, you're aware of in the small of your back, I want you to make sure that you're engaging. Tip your tailbone down. Think of Bug's Life. There's a flashlight in your butt, okay? Any of you have kids who are about 25, plus or minus? Bug's Life was big at one point. Think of that. Point your flashlight down a little more. Don't let it go to the back. Tuck it underneath you. And you'll feel all of a sudden like you just engaged your core again and you released your lower back, because it's kind of a personal girdle you just pulled on. Okay? Let's take this side step. Keep it here. Just easy move, right? So some of those things I'm gonna slip in there and they'll be easy for you to follow. And if you were my girlfriend from the 80s, you did aerobics at some point there. I know it, I know you. Right? You were in the front row, weren't you? And if I was sick, you taught, right? 2 steps this way, 2 steps this way, 2 steps back. Good, so super simple. And if you're thinking, okay, you just lost me, come back to walking, do whatever you want to. And if this just doesn't feel coordinated, that doesn't mean don't do it. Probably means you need a little bit more of that lateral movement in your life, girl. So I want you to do this one. Stay here or cross the leg behind. So I just went over. No matter what, we have 1, 2, 3, and tap. 1, 2, 3, and tap. Step together, step, touch. Okay? Or step behind, step, touch. That's the grapevine, right? And I feel compelled to clap when I do grapevine. Clearly, I have too much aerobics experiments, right, in my past. All right, and in. Nice. Here we go. Good. All I'm going to do is make one little change. So I'm not going to warn you, but instead of a touch, I'm going to do a hamstring curl. So it's over. The energy stays the same. Good. You got it. Nice. Now what I'd love for you to do is hang out with me here a second. We're going to go over and back, and then I want you to stay right here. Don't go. Hamstring curls. Nice job. Here's what I need. Single, single. Double hamstring curl, and we're going to grapevine over here. Hamstring curl, single, single. 2 hamstring curls so that we're ready to go that way. Single, single. Don't think about it too much. You're going to be in trouble. Over, right? Good. I'll do the thinking for us. You're good. Over to the side. Hamstring curls. And here's why it fits. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And over to the side. And 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. We go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Over to the side, hand curl 1, and 2, and we're ready to go back. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Over. And back. And hold it right here. Easy legs. Nice job. Now, I want you to take that heel, cross it over in front, so you're sidestepping. All you're gonna do is exaggerate it, reach it. Excuse me, if you're a little tight or choking, you're gonna feel a little stretch potentially down this side. and that's okay. Remember what you're doing though here is pointing that tailbone down. You're engaging your core. You shouldn't feel any discomfort in the small of your back. If you do, you gotta pay attention to your flashlight. Right now, it should be shining that light about 2 feet in front of you, off to the angle, all right? And you're gonna take your arms here. Good. Now, really reach. One forward, one back. One forward, one back. Keep doing that. You should feel that opening your anterior shoulder muscle, your anterior deltoid, and your chest muscles. And that should feel good. And remember what's happening. All you're doing, here's the walk. You're exaggerating that. Good, reach and reach and reach. So as your right foot's forward, your left foot is reaching and up. Good. Nice work. That's right foot forward, left arm reaching. I think I said foot and foot, but you never know. All right, good. Change the rotation. If you're feeling like your neck and shoulders are getting tight, drop that reach a little lower. If you have it below the shoulders, you'll relax the neck and the upper back. Nice work. Good. Now, you should, right now, talk to me about how you're feeling. March out, in place, okay? Talk to me about how you're feeling. You just tune in. So right now, think about it. You're breathing harder than when you started, but you're breathing harder naturally, stably, like throughout. Not harder and then easier, not harder and easier, but just breathing overall harder. We've let your circulation come up, so oxygen delivery to all of your key extremities, your feet, your calves, your thighs, your fingertips, your forearms, happen naturally. So yeah, you're breathing a little bit harder. Maybe you can still count and talk though to me. So if you're at home alone, you can talk out loud. Just think about 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that coming out? There may be a little pause between, but very little. So if you and I were walking down the street, going for a walk or a hike to one of the beautiful places we've got here in Scottsdale or the surrounding area, we'd be able to chat the whole way. That's what today's all about. And sometimes that's some of the best hormone balancing exercise, all right? Doing it with a community can be that much more effective. So even here, where you're saying, I did this today, this was great, exactly what I needed, here's what else I'm doing and what I'm doing tomorrow, those kinds of comments can make you feel like this is my sisterhood here. They're in it too, right? So I'm gonna have you take this foot forward and back. We're just going for a walk, so I'm walking here. I'm just taking my right foot forward and my right foot back. My left foot just picks up. Good, reach. Good, let your arms swing. Super simple, nothing too hard, okay? So there's no crazy burpees. You'll never see me doing those except if I'm giving you an example of why I don't love them and what could go wrong. Good, you just surpassed 20 minutes. So you're at about minute 22 and I'm gonna start to bring it down. I like to do what I call a 20-20. I'm gonna have you start with your left foot. We're gonna go left foot forward and back. When I do 20-20, I break up all the things I'm doing into high intensity if I wanna do that today, or weight training if I'm gonna do that today, or a long walk, and I might use 2 20-minute blocks for that, or yoga and do a 20-minute block, or something like this, a low-level walk. You can combine, but ideally you don't really want to do one long endurance anything, don't want to do one long high intensity anything. For your best strong immune system, you're doing short, more frequent, little bouts of exercise. So I hope this was helpful. Hope this got you up from your desk. Hope this got you off the couch and maybe onto your next thing. So the only thing better than this would be stick me in your pocket, take me out for a walk. So you're just hearing me whisper in your ear. And in fact, that's a future video, right? Actually a future video, but mostly audio, meant to help you just get to that next step, not go alone. And I'll incorporate some form and technique with your arm swings and with your feet and your heel strike, what you should be feeling and how you should be tipping forward from your ankles, catching yourself as you come down. Good, I'd love to know how you're feeling. And if that was helpful, I'd love you to share this with a friend and put a comment down below.